Hello and welcome to Premier Division. We're at Imola this week. I'm RPM Jones, and we have an exciting race for Italy for the second week in a row, and just 13 drivers tonight, so everyone is already in the points. We'll see how they get on in qualifying. We've got a championship battle on our hands, I believe, at the top still with Colin and Brandon. I will have a look at the tables now just to keep you updated on the positions. So we've got Colin and Brandon at this point with 4 races left after this race. They are tied on points at 322 points. So it's all coming down to crunch time coming towards the end of the season. We're on board with Colin now on his outlap. We also then have Jetfish in a bit of a runaway third on 234, followed by his teammate in fourth on 188, who's running away from Higgsy. Have a quick look from the constructors. Which is incredibly tight. Mercedes are leading the championship on 422 points, followed by McLaren on 410. Brandon's missing his teammate Glassy tonight, so hopefully he can get some points for damage limitation. We have both Ferraris who are in third on 392, and then in fourth Aston Martin are kind of in it. Well, have been in a little league of their own, but Williams are gaining on them, just 40 points behind the Constructors now. So all to play for in the Constructors and all to play for in the Drivers' Championship between Colin and Brandon as we go on board with Colin on his flying lap. And it's very measured already, getting beautiful use of the curbs. It's actually nice to go on board with him because I was not driving like this at all last night. He's purple in the first sector, gets it tucked nicely in onto the curb, going uphill now. He'll dab the brakes, throw it in, get back on the throttle, and now how brave can he be through here? And then he's got a brake and straight up the hill. He's catching a Mercedes in front, who will get out of the way very nicely, takes a bit of tow from him into the chicane. Takes a nice bit of curb and again gets his foot down, and we're going downhill into a left-hander now. It's all about the exit onto the straights. Gets it tucked in nicely, and he'll swing this one round onto the throttle. And let's see what time we've got across the line for a 1:15.1. That is the benchmark straight off the bat. We had Giraffe and Entity, the Williams pair. They, with 117s. And it looks like the Williams again, they are doing a bit of drafting on that lap. They were close together on the lap. And we got Backer putting in a 1:18.5 in the Aston, as his teammate Higgsy on a 1:16.6. Let's see if we can catch Luke and the other Ferraris coming through the final corners. What can he do? DRS open and across the line, and he goes fourth, 1:17.0. So we've got a lot of drivers. Well, we've got 3 drivers very close, separated by a tenth. Right, and who have we got now? We've got I think we've got Fretty on a flying lap here, down in 13th at the moment. Still yet to set a time. And what can he do? Gets a really nice exit out of there, and it's all the run up to the line now. And that's going to be a 1:17.1, so it's very tight from 5th to 8th there, all separated by a 10th. Jetfish, whilst I was away there, 1:16.1, his teammate 1:16.3, so we're seeing Aston Martins and Mercedes close together on the track as well again. At the start, we'll get on board with Brandon, who is tied first in the championship with Colin, and see what he can do. Oh, and it looks like he must have just had a moment coming out of there. He corrected it, and that sent him off the track. Yeah, only 13 tonight. I don't know if stuff. Obviously, people must have some things on. I know we had some lower numbers the other day. Oh, and Fretty has a big moment through there. And we got a McLaren backwards. That's Brandon. So it's not going to plan for Brandon, who's tied first in the championship at the moment. We've got some people coming back out for their second runs on outlaps. Yeah, only 13 tonight, a little bit disappointing, but there's points there for everyone. And these guys are really good drivers, so I'm sure we'll still see some great racing. Right, let's see if we can catch what the Williams are doing. I think they will be... I know Entity's in the garage. I would have thought they might have been drafting each other. Spritzy, missing you too. It's very tough when it's on your own, trying to keep up with everything. But I hope you're enjoying the stream. I hope you're all well. We'll go on board with Giraffe and see what he can do. He's revving up for this lap now. Sorry for my silence at times. I had a late takeaway, so every now and then I go to eat a spring roll off the mic. And Warder, yeah, the constructors is really tight. It's going to be really epic battle towards the end of the season. Go Team Ferrari tonight. Well, yeah, they'll be looking to close the gap on Mercedes in the championship. Right, so Giraffe puts himself into third with a very good time. We've got Jetfish, I believe, also on a flying lap here. No, he must not be, because that's a 2:24 he's on. We'll go on board with Luke's brother for a second here in the Alpha Tauri. This is Quinn. And you can see how tight it's getting now. From second down to 8th, separated by 3/10. It's all going to change come the end of the session. They should have a run and then one more at the end, I guess, on really low fuel loads. Quinn gets a tucked in for the final corner on the throttle, and he's backed out of it. I guess he lost a bit of time. Backer looks like he's pulled out of this lap. Onto Luke, Quinn's brother here, and what can he do? He's improved so far and up into 1:16.4, just behind his brother, in between. That's 3 Dutch drivers, I believe, in a row there. We've got Quinn, Luke, and Backer. We'll see what the others are doing. Jetfish coming towards the end of his lap now. And he's staying out, so he must be improving, I'd imagine, here. And that's a 1:15.8, so he's the second driver into the 1:15s. We've got Colin about to finish a lap. And will he move the benchmark? I don't know if I'm seeing the wrong thing, but that might have been an identical time. Or, no, he must be just starting his flying lap. We'll watch on board again. It's so satisfying to watch Colin drive the tracks. He's so quick around them. Yeah, Brandon and Brian still to set a lap in 12th and 13th. They are coming out on their out laps now. Brandon will be hoping to get a time on the board here because we know how quick he is, and he'll be wanting to take the fight to Colin for the rest of the season. And it's amazing how much commitment Colin can take through these corners. And just the use of the track is absolutely to perfection. Uses a Mercedes again for a little bit of toe. Gets it stopped, uses a lot of curb there. He's a bit earlier on the throttle this lap than he was last lap through there, so could be gaining down to this turn. And can he get into the 1:14s? Gets it tucked in, onto the power, swings it round, on the power again. Beautiful use of the curb on the outside. Will open his DRS across the line, and he is into the 1:14s. He improves by 2 tenths, 1:14.9. He moves that benchmark. Higsy following behind him just went into a 1:15.7, so he's put himself up into second. We've got Al also on a lap. He's in the first sector. I might try and... where have we got Brandon? I'll try and get Brandon as he hasn't got a lap time. Oh, he's invalidated. We've got Brian as well. And he's backed off, so we'll get back on board with Al, see how much he can improve. He's only up 200ths at the moment through the first 2 sectors. Coming to the chicane, can he be brave here on the brakes? And gets it turned in nicely. It's all downhill, tricky braking point downhill. Careful not to lock up. And can we get our fourth driver into the 1:15s here? Can he make that improvement? He's got 3 attempts to get there. And he just misses out on it, but he does improve by 3 attempts, 1:16.0. So it's all hotting up. We've got Maggot in 6th, he's on a flyer. Brandon and Brian back in the pits, so they will be putting one last set of tyres on, and they've got to get the lap time in, otherwise they will be starting 12th and 13th. And it's incredibly tight in that middle pack in the qualifying. If you can find 1 or 2 temps, it could completely change where you're lining up. And here comes Maggot through the final 2 corners. Takes the left-hander, uses a lot of curb on the outside, gets it nicely tucked in. Opens that DRS and into the 15s as well. What a lap from Maggot. 1:15.9. It's really hotting up here. He'll have one more chance for a run, I think. We've got Quinn also on a lap. Can he improve? No, he's... sorry, my mistake. 3 minutes in lap. So he must be just coming round for his flyer now. Seeing as everyone's in the pits, we'll stay on board with Quinn. And he takes the bollard with him. I like that, really pushing it in extreme there. Evening Smith, good luck Aston. Well, yeah, it's going well for Higsy so far. I know Backer... oh, that was so close there. I know Backer, I think he's been looking quite good in practice, but he'll be hoping to improve on that time. And you can see with these Premier Division drivers, I mean, I love watching it because I just do not make the track look this good. I am driving all over the place compared to these guys. They are so precise. Right, and we'll see what Quinn's done through the first 2 sectors now. He's improved by 3 temps so far. That will currently move him up to at least 5th. If he can just improve in this sector as well, he could start very high here. And Quinn has been impressing a lot in the last few weeks. He's got such good pace. Just looked like he understeered a bit into there, and again, might cost him that little bit of time. Comes across the line, but still gets a 1:15.7, improves by 6 tenths, and it's an identical time to Higgsy. Wow, what a lap from Quinn. And who else have we got? We've got Entity on a lap. So Entity has invalidated. We got Backer. Let's see what he can do. So everyone's coming out for their final runs now. Having a look at that track map, Backer has no one ahead of him, so he could get his clean lap in now. Seems to be a little less committed than some of the other drives in through there, but very smooth. Gets on the power nice and early there. Uses a curb on the outside. Looks like we've got a yellow flag up ahead. I think that's drivers slowing down before their lap. Hopefully Backer doesn't catch them. I think he should be fine. Slow down up the hill. Uses a curve nicely. He's just got 4 corners left, and let's see where that'll put him. He's half a second up at this point. Takes the curb, gets it turned in, onto the throttle. Now downhill into the left-handers. Oh, and Jetfish has missed that, 1:15.6, so he's up into second. And what will Backer do here? Opens that DRS across the line and up to third. That's more like it from Mr. Backer. Absolutely fantastic. Chapter 10, good qualifying. Spritzy, by the way, Jones, orange gin in France is not as good as pink gin in the UK. Well, we'll have to bear that in mind for the next time we're on comms then. And Jetfish looks like he's not on a flyer. Colin has pitted. We got Higgsy in the other Aston Martin. Let's see if he can improve. He is up at the moment by just short of a tenth. Can he leapfrog his teammate? And across the line, he does leapfrog his teammate, and he leapfrogs the Mercedes of Jetfish too. Jetfish couldn't get his lap done. Al can't improve. Who've we got on track? We got Maggot. Let's. I mean, it just seems not long ago that Maggot has just put himself up to third. He's pulled out of this lap by the looks of that. We've got Luke, and he's off the pace there. So it's Brian that we're going to go on board with, see what he can do. But he's invalidated. And Brandon in the pits. So the big story here, tied first place in the championship. Colin on pole doing exactly what he has to. And Brandon hasn't managed to get a lap in. So he is going to need to have a great race here, and it can be awfully tough to make an overtake stick round here. Chat, if you've got any predictions for the race, I'd love to know. As you can tell, I haven't got Spritzy here with me tonight, where I usually make really bad predictions or say absolutely nothing. So if you could give me a prediction, that would be greatly appreciated. And we had Brandon going full Jose Mourinho there, saying he prefers not to speak. Yeah, let's hope your actions on the track now speak louder than any words can, Brandon. Let's hope we see that McLaren flying through. Right, so coming up to the grid. Oh, I've missed something. Sorry. That was the fact that I had a delayed takeaway, so I'm just trying to keep it warm for after the race. We've got Brandon. Sorry, we had a little disqualification on the formation lap. That means those two drivers will have colder tyres than the rest of the field. They won't be actually disqualified from the session, but that will give them a disadvantage at the start. Yeah, the first few corners are definitely going to be very, very interesting through here to see how this pans out. It's so tight in such a chicane, and I don't know what happened now. We had a car pulling off the track. As the cars now line up to a bit of a burnout, Colin really warming those tyres up, and he's going to get that trying to face straight towards the corner there. So, we have an Aston Martin Mercedes sandwich. Have we ever seen that this season in Premier Division? I'm not too sure, but that could be very exciting off the start. We've got everyone now on track. We've got 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 lights. Okay, let's go. And Higgsy has got a great start, and so has the Mercedes of Jetfish, and they're 3 wide. And Higgsy's got, oh, they've contact. And he just got onto those sausage curbs, which caused a problem. And he's going to let his teammate go, which is Bakker. But Bakker gets all out of shape on the sausage curbs himself, and he's round, and it's a disaster for the Aston Martins on the first lap. We've got Colin going after Jetfish. Bakker is facing the wrong way currently. That just seems to be the story of his season at the moment. Now we've got Jetfish leading Colin. Al trying to catch up and give his teammate a hand. And the big story here is Brandon from last on the grid up to 4th. What a start. I know it was messy at the start. Sorry about the camera angles. I was trying to find a decent one and couldn't quite see anything. Higgsy still in behind in 5th. He's still there. And we've got Luke chasing down in a Ferrari. So, what can Brandon do? Can he get up to these Mercs? And he'll be hoping Colin gets stuck behind Jetfish. This is the championship battle with Brandon and Colin. But the Constructors' battle is looking very good for Mercedes at this moment. I would just quickly get up here and see Colin chasing down. Bakker seems to be gaining on Entity again, so hopefully he didn't get any damage at all. And see what Colin can do with Jetfish. It is incredibly tight round here and very difficult to overtake. Let's see Evil Masters in chat. It's a shame you couldn't be racing tonight, Evil Master. I believe that's a Wi-Fi problem. Yeah, shame Evil Master can't be racing. He's had some good pace this season, and it would have been interesting, especially off that start. It would have been even one more driver and a bit more chaos would have been exciting for all us viewers. And see how late Colin is on the brakes there. Colin it is at the moment, and I'll actually have a look at the tyres here. We have got some split strategies. Colin on the hards, so technically he should be a bit slower but have more durable tyres, but Colin doesn't ever drive too slowly. And these two at the front are starting to gap out as we've got... I would go on board with Brandon, but you can see in the background there, Brandon's only half a second or so behind Jetfish. We have Colin still not able to get past, and we do know that these Mercs, from watching before, they do tend to be very good in a straight line. It's very difficult to get past them. And we've got... Well, we've got some tight battles. I'll probably have to try and get on board with that, but it's... I know, I'm aware that sometimes we don't give Colin quite the airtime he deserves, often because he manages to get away from the field. So we'll try and watch this battle, see if any overtakes come in. But we've got Brandon close behind on Owl now. That looks to be even tighter. And look at all those cars close behind. It's getting really tight in the mid-pack. Backer is now only 1.5 seconds or so off Entity, so he's catching up. Backer has the pace. Just a shame about that incident. And the sausage curve is really playing havoc with both Aston Martins. Now Colin is only half a second off. He's draining ERS. Let's see what Jetfish is doing with his. Jetfish is saving at the moment. We've got in the background Brandon trying to get the move on Al. Colin's going around the outside. And he's got it done before the braking zone, and Brandon's going up the inside, and he's got it done just in time. And we're seeing the championship leaders start to take these Mercedes now. Can Jetfish hang on in there? We know he's got good straight line speed. We've got a yellow flag that seems to be for Brian. I will stay with this battle at the moment. Jetfish is still hanging on in there. We know he's got a bit more ERS than Colin. Colin down at 22%. And now Brandon needs to get his foot down and try and catch these guys while they're battling. And Colin will be desperate to break that DRS and just escape up the field here. We've also got Higgsy. Higgsy now closing in on Al. You'll see him in the back of your screen there coming through the chicane. And Jetfish... He's still there, half a second behind. Let's see about that straight line speed. Colin needs to nail these corners. It is a very, very long straight here, and DRS is powerful along here because it starts so early. Yeah, I agree, Spritzy. I think Colin and Brandon on the hards, they've managed to escape any incidents. Yeah, they're very well positioned for this race. And they'll be hoping there's no safety car, because if it's an early safety car, that's really a pain for the hard runners. It works out better for the medium runners. So Jetfish did close up, but not enough. Brandon hasn't closed up on this, so he's probably struggling because these guys are towing each other around in a DRS. Al still sticking with Brandon. Brandon trying to break his DRS. We'll go on board with this. We've got Higgsy on the back of Al, but then we've got Luke right on the back of Higgsy. Maggot on the back of this, and then Quinn. So this is really tight battling from these guys. We've got Giraffe 2.5 seconds behind this, so there is a little bit of a gap forming. And we'll get on board with, I think, who's going to be best here? It looks like Luke is the closest, or Maggot to Luke actually here. They're about the same distance. The problem is here is they're all going to have DRS open, so it's going to be tough to pass the car right in front of you. But Al is going to be feeling pretty exposed. But look again, that straight line speed of those Mercedes is so good, but he goes in a bit deep. Higsy will be sensing a bit of blood here, and he can't quite catch up to him. It's going to be very hard to do anything through here. Maybe into the hairpin, they'll have a go, and he's got a good exit again. Al looks like he's struggling a little bit at this point in time. Higsy gets it nicely tucked in. He's going to get a good exit again, but no room, and there's not going to be a move made into here. Oh, I am so sorry, chat. I've missed something huge at the front. Colin got passed by Jetfish. Do not know what happened there. I was trying to show some other battles and I've missed it. At least this week I haven't caught anyone spinning so far. And he'll have a big helping of DRS through here. And you can see he's gaining already. I think Jetfish will really struggle to defend this. And look at that. That DRS really does give you an advantage around here. And he gets it done before the braking move. So this battle's going to keep going on. Now Brandon is a second further back from this. Shows you how much it hurts to be out of DRS. He has gapped Al though. Higsy has got a move done on Al, but looked like there was a bit of contact. We came to it late. Has that happened before in Premier Division? Maybe a few times, and Luke will be fancying his chances in this, but he's got Maggot and Quinn for company as well, as Giraffe is also closing in on this battle. These guys are starting to slow each other down now. Higsy will be hoping to get past. He looks like he's had good pace so far, and Al was a bit of a cork in the bottle there, but with the DRS that could change very quickly. Oh, and Luke gets a beautiful entry to that corner, but can't quite get down on the power on Al. But he may as well be patient. Big DRS zone coming up. But Al seems to get off the corners very well as well. Avoids wheel spin and really seems to be able to defend that way. But he'll be under pressure here, but so will Higsy. Oh, and as you can see, it's not them that's under pressure. It is Maggot coming through on Luke. It's going around the outside. Luke late on the brakes as well. Maggot gets it done, keeps it in. Oh, and the Aston spun. Higsy, he must have come together with Al. I didn't quite see it. I was watching the battle behind. I don't know if you saw it in the those who are spectating, but that is another incident, and Al is back up to fourth. And now he's getting chased down. Maggot looks like he's got great pace at the moment. He's on those hard tyres as well. So that strategy could really play out nicely. And the Aston Martins, again, have a great starting position, but down in 10th and 11th. And usually, unfortunately, it seems to be with the Mercedes that they come together with. But now we've got Maggot chasing down Al. And we've got Luke under big pressure from his brother. There's a bit of sibling rivalry going on for 6th place here. And down the hill they go. We've got Jetfish now. He's been gapped. It's 1.6 seconds to Colin. And that is also bringing Brandon back into play. He's gained half a second with the fact that the DRS train has been broken. And here goes Maggot. Will he have the pace on Al? He's going to be too far back this time. And I think Quinn and Luke are similar gap. But you can see the Mercedes is really struggling to get it turned in there. And Maggot, what a brave move and what a great move around the outside. The Mercedes keeps his nose in there. Oh, he's got wing damage. He must have got that. Oh, he's gone over the gravel, has Maggot. It's getting really quite messy here. Al up the inside. Luke's got a great seat for this. They're going up the hill, wheel to wheel. What's going to happen here? Al's going to have the inside line. He has damage, I can see, on the left front wing end plate. That must have been with the Aston Martin. And he's keeping it together incredibly well at the moment. But this is... Oh, and there's contact into the back. Oh, no. And that's caught loads of people up in it. I see a lot of front wings going. It's the AlphaTauri of Quinn. I don't know if Luke got away from that safely. We'll have a little look. and that's put back up into 7th. And oh, he's just got so close in there. And once Maggot went round, he was going to collect everyone. There's no route. You just don't have time to react there, and that's a shame because Maggot was looking really good through there. Al hopefully got away without any rear wing damage there, because he's still got that front wing damage, so that would be getting pretty hard to drive. Luke's dropped back from this, obviously having to slow down for that incident. Backer has benefited from this, back up to 6th. And we've got 3 cars in the pits. That's Giraffe, Quinn and Maggot. They were the people who got caught up in that incident. I think we've got Giraffe going to the softs. Quinn will try and take those hards to the end. And Maggot looks to be going on to the mediums, so it'd be interesting to see what he can do. And this is now the closest battle on track is Fretty on Backer, because that little incident has just separated the field a bit. We've got Luke, he's chasing after Al. He's within DRS again now. You can see him going through the chicane up ahead. Yeah, Luke should have a bit of a pace advantage with Al having that bit of front wing damage, as long as Luke didn't get any damage. I couldn't see any, but yeah, you can't always tell. On Frey just locks up a bit there, so he's lost time to Backer, and he's going to get his helping of DRS, but he will be too far back on this occasion. So let's have a little look at Luke. He's gaining, and you can see Al there again. He's struggling to get through there with that wing damage, but he's doing incredibly well. It was the pause. It wasn't me drinking Costella, actually, no. I would be in my takeaway if I could, but I'm trying to be as professional as possible, Spritzy. But yeah, no Stella tonight. I'm fully focused on this Imola race, and back on the H2O, that old thing. And you can see, yeah, I think that's where Al is really struggling. You can see that might be what happened with Maggot, the fact that he's having to get it really slowed down with that damage, and the other guys are able to carry so much speed through. I ordered a Chinese, so that's why I did go quiet earlier. I was having a few spring rolls. I can greatly recommend. They were very tasty, but I'm saving the rest for after the race. As we get Al pitting, so he will now put the hards on. I imagine Luke has been released. And we'll get on board with, we got Backer, who's also pitted. I missed that. So he's pitting as well. We've got Brandon, who is now chasing after Jetfish. And we've got GFO Esports saying, hello there. I am RPM Jones. Nice to meet you. I hope you enjoy the stream. I'm guessing you're coming to check out some of the Team RPM members. Just to fill you in, Brandon has managed to get up from last on the grid to 3rd in an incredible start. There was a bit of contact in the first corners and a bit of contact a few laps later, and Colin did get overtaken at the start and is now repassed, and he has gapped Jetfish now. Brandon really gaining on Jetfish here now, only 1.5 seconds behind, and I guess in those mediums have had their day, and Jetfish almost confirms that, and he pits. Will Luke be the next one to pit? So now we've got tied first people in the championship, Colin and Brandon, 1st and 2nd. So GFO Esports saying that Colin will be racing with them. Well, it's great to watch Colin. He is so quick, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun racing against him and watching. Now we've got Entity. We'll have a look what Entity's up to today in the Williams. He's gaining on Quinn at the moment, but he is on the soft tyres against the hards, so he will have to pit again. I mean, if he got those soft tyres to the end, which I think is absolutely impossible, and that was close there. Quinn getting out of the way. That would be amazing, but I imagine he'd get a puncture after about 5 laps. So Giraffe and Entity really just trying to get themselves back into the race on those soft tyres. Got caught up in some incidents, I think, off the start, and trying to recover now. So we've got Giraffe now behind Backer. Backer pitted just a lap ago onto the hards. Oh, and Quinn, it says, why always my internet? So I'm guessing he's lost internet connection. I hope that's not the Hoover gate again. That's such a shame. He was having such a great race, especially before the contact. And how have we got? We've got Luke in the pits here. We've got Brian actually closing on Fretty, but Brian has a penalty. We will have a quick look what that is. 3-second penalty for Brian, the only driver at the moment to have one, but he is gaining on Fretty at the moment, all on 13-lap-old hard tyres at the front. Job offers at the moment, according to Spritzy. I mean, if I'm free, there's no problem. I do think I'm quite good at. I got a quite good grasp on the English language, or you'd hope so. Me being born here, so we'll see about that. Back to the racing though, and Brian. Oh, he's got run a bit wide there. Daniel saying, "You got a manager, Jones." I'll leave that one to Spritzy. He can be my manager. He's usually my co-coms. So here we go. We've got Backer right behind Luke. So Luke must have come out of the pits right in front of him. So Backer's right back in this race. Jones charges big box. I'm not too sure about that one. But as my manager, okay, sure. How long are you getting out of the hards? Yesterday, I did, I think, 26 laps on them, but they were basically a lap or two away from puncturing. These guys will be much better on them than I am. But I think when you get to the last bits of the tyres, especially on this year's edition of the game, they really can drop off the cliff, and it's sometimes it's better just to pit early. So we got Fretty got overtaken by Brian, so Brian's showing once again that he has good pace. Backer in this Dutch battle in the middle of the field for 6th place, and it's been a great recovery after facing backwards and being 5 seconds off the back of the field after the first lap. So we got some predictions in the chat. We got Nick saying 17 at least for hard. Yeah, they will go further. You'll start to lose the pace, I think, after 20 or so. But I mean, they are so much more durable than the other tyres. 18 to 20, says Smith. I mean, I was forced into it because I lost wing yesterday, so I tried to take them from the first lap to the last lap, which didn't work. But most of my racing doesn't work, so. Right, so we've got Luke and Backer. Backer lost a little bit of time. Luke looks to have got those hard tyres fired up. We've got Fretty dropping back off Brian at the moment, and Brandon is 10 seconds behind Colin. Colin is absolutely flying at the moment. His pace on those hard tyres is exceptional. But I mean, I think starting 13th, Brandon will be very, very happy that he's managed to get up to 2nd here, and you never know what can happen in the last 4 races. Obviously they're tied on points at the moment. Just in the constructors, thinking about that, there'll be damage limiting against the Mercedes, who have just dropped back at the moment. Jetfish is probably a net P3 though. Cold Spring Rolls, I think, will be right. That's why I muted my mic, so I could at least scoff one before they went completely cold. But But yeah, we'll see about that. Sabaka still on the back of Luke. Oh, he has a bit of a moment through there. He's getting hunted down by Giraffe at the moment, but Giraffe has to pit. Those softs only lasting 6 laps. The Williams drivers, they'll be hoping for a safety car at this point. And still the front 4 not pitting. Yeah, and these two are by far the closest battle on the track, sticking with each other very, very nicely. Nick says pit or quit. I mean, points-wise, I'd recommend against quitting, seeing as you get points for the top 15 places in RPM, so you may as well take those points. Bakker closing in again. He just needs to keep it together through the left-hander down the hill. He got a bit twitchy through there last time, so hopefully he'll keep that all nice and tidy. And he looks to be a bit too far back again. Luke is absolutely nailing his exits off the last corner. And he gets it tucked in nicely, but he's just too far back again. He's just going to have to stay patient. The tyres are only 2 laps older, so there's no reason to really worry on those tyre front. Yeah, and we get Colin. Colin pits. So will Brandon just try and do the opposite and maybe hope for a safety car here? And that's exactly what he's doing. Well, I don't know if he's hoping for the safety car part of it, but he's staying out. Brian will not get past Colin. So Colin's going to come back out in second. And Brandon now taking over the lead. He looked like he just had a little bit of a moment there. He's obviously having to look after those tyres a bit, but maybe his best chance, he is clear of the other drivers, is just to go long. And maybe he can even get onto the softs if we can take the tyres long enough. We've seen so far, Entity's managed to do 7 laps on those softs. I know Brandon sometimes listens through his AirPods, so maybe I'm giving him a bit of updates on the race. And we'll get back while this is happening onto the Dutch battle on track. Bakker and Luke. And Ward, he's saying Bakker looks like he's got the straight line speed, but Luke got the corner speed. Yeah, it does look to be. Luke seems to be able to really get nice exits off, and really that's helping him defend, especially off that last corner. Bakker seems to get a bit more squirrely out of the last corner, and it makes it very difficult to make use of that DRS. But as long as he's in the DRS, they will just keep dragging each other along. They've dropping Al. He's 4 seconds behind now. Oh, and Bakker takes too much curb, and that's exactly what I was on about. Needs to stay patient. He will be out of DRS now. I am missing the conversation in the chat a little bit. A bit lost on that. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up to date with what's going on here. We got Ferretti pitting. He will come out, I think, probably. He's going to come out around Maggot here. He's going to come out in front of Maggot. So Ferretti now on nice, fresh mediums. And he'll be going pretty quickly, I think, now. And here we go, Bakker and Luke. What's this now? Round 6. And Luke, it's nice to see Luke getting up there into 5th. You know, he wasn't happy with his qualifying, and the thing to remember with Luke this season is he missed a lot of the first few races. Usually he's very consistent in the championship, so nice to see him doing well as Brandon pits and Brian pits. Brian gets a penalty for speeding in a pit lane. How costly could that prove? Jetfish will now get back onto the podium positions, and he gets past Brandon as well. So Brandon's lap times must have slowed down quite significantly, but he's not too far behind, and he's got fresher medium tyres. Forget the race, focus on the check. That would not be very professional of me here. I owe it to these guys to try and, I would say, give them some kind of knowledge. It's not really knowledge coming from me. And we've now got back at half a second off. I did see mention of £700 in spring rolls though, and that was that sounds like an absolute cracking deal. But again, Spritzy is the manager to talk to. Who is Brian? Nick, Brian is, yeah, sorry, that's I can see why that's confusing. KVKFC is Brian. Yeah, been racing together in the league long enough. Sorry to just calling Brian out of habit now. And we've got Backer still closer. Can he just keep it together in these last few corners? Brandon's dropped back a bit from Jetfish, but that's probably because he's on those cold tyres. He keeps it together through there, no sliding rounds. What's up, Cosmo? Hello. Nice to see you here joining us. An Entity picks up a penalty. So I believe, just to look at penalties, Brian has 8 seconds now. Which could change a lot if I can find the penalties there. So 8 seconds, and Entity 8 seconds. So that is going to promote quite a few people. But Brian should be faster on those fresh medium tyres. And again, yeah, I think was it Nick that said earlier in the chat that Luke seems to be better through the corners, and his setup definitely seems to allow him to do that. The problem these guys have got, I mean, the 8-second penalty will count against Brian, but Brian is absolutely going to be flying behind him on those fresh mediums. And as we're looking at this, I might need to switch for another battle fairly soon. Oh, we've also got Giraffe coming through on Higgsy, but we've got Brandon now within DRS of Jetfish. And he needs to get that move done to keep limiting the damage from what Collins does. And Backer actually gets a much better exit through there. He's closer this time. Brandon, I think he's going through into the first corner. He's going to be too far back this time. And Backer, can he get a good exit? Will Luke get a bit of DRS helping from the back marker here? Oh no, he doesn't, and you can see Backer is just gaining. This could be his chance, but that is going to get really tense with that car there, and he has to just back out of it. Can we see Luke CRS? Of course, 5% at the moment, so Backer has the advantage on that, and he's staying with him, absolutely. And we've got Brandon just 2 tenths behind Jetfish. We'll keep on board with Backer. I might have to make a little quick switch to see Brandon at some point. I can see he's coming up to the chicane now, so it's unlikely he'll be getting past just yet. And whilst all this battling's been going on, Brian is a 10th behind, and look how close he is. Oh, he touches Backer! Oh no! And that's... Luke's been released, and now we'll have a look at Brandon, who gets on the exit. And let's have a look. It's going to be easily done. Don't tell him, Jonesy. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, Spritzy. I could be in a bit of hot water there. At least I haven't made anyone crash this week. Right, so Brandon is through, and I imagine he will now pull away from Jetfish as we've got Brian through on Backer. And I think Backer's going to be a bit frustrated with that one. Just doesn't seem to get the look at all this year. A few little moments here and there. Oh, Brian got a bit out of shape through there. Backer closes in. And Luke has a bit of breathing space for a few laps. He's had to defend like a lion so far. Can he keep it up? So we got... we'll just have a quick look. Oh no, he's in sector 1. We've got Higgsy just behind Giraffe as well, trying to recover his race, and Brian goes way off track. And Brian gets a beautiful exit, and he is going to be on Luke quickly. And, oh, actually, we've got Jetfish, so he hasn't closed up right yet. So now it's 3 Dutch drivers in a row, 4th, 5th and 6th. So the battle for 4th is, it's going to go Dutch in some way. You can see Brian just seems to have so much grip at the moment. Able just to push a bit more and be a bit more committed in these corners. And Luke is putting his car exactly where he needs to. He knows it's going to be hard to overtake round here. Backer now just a second off the back of this. It could all kick off again with these guys. Unfortunately, there's a lot of gaps everywhere else. Oh, what an exit from Brian there. He's going to put Luke under pressure, but I don't think he'll try anything in the chicane. It's going to be impossible to get it done through there. Takes a lot of curb. Too much curb on that last one. It's compromised him a little bit, but he is going to be all over the back of Luke here on the straight, and I think Luke is going to not have anything to defend him with. And there goes Brian. Yeah, the DRS is so powerful round here, and you can see how much extra speed it gives you. And now for Brian, he has 6 laps to pull an 8-second gap if he wants that 4th place. Right, so and Brian, big moment. And he just lost it. Oh, what a shame for Brian. And well, he's not going to come out on top of the Dutch battle then. Brian, top marks for not trying. Absolutely fantastic song. Great contribution there, Nick, with the Arctic Monkey shout. So here we go with Becker closing in again on Luke. Can he get it done? We've got Brian right behind Fretty now. Fretty right behind Al. This could get a bit tasty. And Brian again, even though he's just spun and I imagine wrecked his tyres, he's round the back of this again. He's got them cooled down somehow very quickly. These guys are also gaining on Backer, who is gaining on Luke. So we could end up having a huge battle here at the end for 4th place, the best of the rest. Well, yeah, Brian is a great fella. It's just a good song quote. We'll let that one fly. Right, can Fretty get past Al here? He's got the fresher tyres. He's got the quicker tyres. But we know how fast these Mercedes are in a straight line. Doubtful, says Spritzy. Well, we'll see. He's getting close. He's going to go around the outside. Al defending the inside. Late on the brakes. He's going to run deep into the corner. And he just parks his car where he can't get past. He keeps it clean. Oh, and he goes up the inside. Fretty fully sends it. And what a move that is. Beautiful. He really wanted to make that one, get that one done after, I think, getting held up a little bit. And now we've got Brian right on the back of Al. He could lose 2 positions in 1 lap here. He's under massive, massive pressure. Yeah, and Alec, I feel like you're doing my job for me there. There is 3 laps remaining. Colin looks like he'll be taking a very, very comfortable win after recovering from quite a tense first few laps where he was 3 wide going into the first corner. Brandon will look to get home in 2nd place. He'll be well happy with that after 13th. And Jetfish he's got a massive gap for that podium. And here goes Brian on Al. He's gone up the inside. Oh, and it's a bit of contact. Oh, there was a bit of contact there, and yeah, we're seeing some incidents for some of the drivers tonight. It's so tight round here, and a lot of the cars coming together at the moment. A 3-second penalty for Maggot. He's down in 9th. Unfortunately, a little bit off the back of this after that incident in Sector 2 earlier on. Yeah, I absolutely smell a succulent Chinese meal. I cannot wait for this takeaway. I should be advertising them at this point. Right, now Brian's going after Fretty. We've got Backer. I will go back on board with Backer at some point. We've got Backer just 8 tenths off Luke. He'll be desperate to get that 4th position. He's been so unlucky with his results this season, and he'll be looking to get some Aston Martin some points with Higgsy all the way down in 11th. And we'll go on board with Backer now, as he'll be the first one. Yeah, and he's just a little too far back. We've got Fretty now. He's a little too far back. It's all going to come down to the last lap or so. Fretty gets a nicer exit there than Brian. Has Brian cut those tyres, especially with that spin? Yeah, Brian seems to be, I mean, he's got the 8-second penalty, so Fretty's going to get this position anyway at this point, but Brian seems to be a bit more ragged at the moment, but gets a great exit there. We'll go back on board with Backer. As we see Higgsy pit, I imagine maybe he'll take the soft tyre and try and get a fastest lap before the end, but has he left it, has he been lapped? Has he left that, I think he might have left that too late. Oh no, he should have 1 lap at it, yeah. So he'll be trying to get an extra couple of points for the fastest lap in the championship. I'll just check where Colin is on track. Right, back to Backer. Can he get it done in the DRS? This feels like it has been going on for absolutely ages between Luke and Backer. And he just too far back again here. And Luke is just, once again, just driven perfectly with what he's had to do. Got the exits where he's needed to, made his car big where he's needed to. Oh, Backer! And you could see how hard he's pushing, nearly loses the rear end. Didn't lose too much time, though. And he gets it tucked in. Oh, and those tyres are complaining a little bit. It's going to be really tense on these last couple of laps. As Luke looked after his tyres a little bit more. And we've got Brian right behind these guys again. He's nearly within DRS. We've got Fretty right behind him. We've got Entity and Giraffe swapping places as Giraffe puts softs on. He's left it a bit too late to go to the fastest lap there. I imagine Higgsy will take that. Backer, with getting a bit trigger happy on the throttle, has lost out a bit this lap. He's still within DRS, but he'll be too far back. But he'll have 1 more lap at it. We'll watch him, then we'll probably get on board with Colin and then go back to this battle when Colin crosses the line. The question is, how much ERS we got with Luke? He has 2%, so he is going to be struggling, and back is here, up the inside. Oh no, and they've both hit, contact. And that's let everyone through. What a shame. They looked like they'd just given each other enough room and then the wheels hit. And that is so gutting for both of them because they'd raced so well to that point, and I think it might have been probably a bit desperate for both. Last lap trying to keep the position. I've missed Colin with all that. He's crossed the finish line winning. Brandon will come home in second. Jetfish will get another podium. So the championship battle is still alive. Fretty, out of nowhere, will be taking 4th position if he keeps it on the track through the rest of here. Al will be back up to 5th. And Bakker and Luke will be coming home in 7th and 8th. Yeah, Fretty 4th, out of nowhere. It shows if you just keep it clean enough, anything can happen. And the question is, Bakker's just going to miss out on that penalty, I think, from Brian as well, because Brian's on 8 seconds. Yeah, I think Bakker was probably, he really wanted to get that move done by the end, and I think you're right there, Alec, but it's, I doubt anyone would want to lose it on the last lap. It was such good racing for them, such a shame. And Bakker comes home in 7th, Luke in 8th. We've got Maggot down in 9th. Looks like he's had a bit of a moment. We've got the 2 Williams, Noah's Ark style, and Higgsy. I'm not sure who got the fastest lap in the end. We'll see now. Thank you very much, Spritzy. I will absolutely love the Chinese. I've been literally salivating just thinking about it all race. But yeah, it was a good race and everyone kept us entertained. Colin will now take the lead in the championship. Here he is walking out onto the podium. He will be 5 points ahead of Brandon, I believe, with 4 races to go, so all to play for. I would try and do the constructors maths, but I think, yeah, that's probably a bit too much for me. I think last time me and Spritzy tried to do maths, we got it horribly wrong. So all I know is it's really, really tight. And I'll just give you a quick rundown. So Colin, actually, no, he'll extend the championship advantage even more, taking the fastest lap. Higgsy just wasn't able to do it, missing out on that fastest lap by just under a 10th. So there we have it. What a race. Some great battles and a lot of incidents as well. And quite an interesting picture from Colin there as the winner. But yeah, thank you for tuning in tonight, guys. I hope you had a great evening watching, and I am going to go enjoy my food, and make sure to tune in next week for Premier Division again next Thursday, and we've got Senior Division on Tuesday night. Enjoy your evening, everyone. Bye-bye.